I know that you are. We have coming up now our keynote speaker coming here from Salinas, California, the salad bowl capital of the world. All right, yeah, okay, I did get it right. All right, we have Mr. Ben Cogswell.
I'm going to have David refresh my slides real quick. I do actually have a link to this presentation in case you'd like to follow along. Okay? There's no secrets here. So, how you doing this morning? All right, I love that we start with Legos because as you'll find out, I'm a kindergarten teacher, and so I really like Legos. All right. So I came down from Salinas. Does anybody know where Salinas is? Yeah, salad bowl capital of the world, which is pretty awesome, right? Because we get a lot of fresh produce. Salinas is also famous for anybody else know? Well, the artichoke is a little bit north. That's Watsonville. John Steinbeck. We got the John Steinbeck Center. So, yes, I believe off the top of my head, it's tinyurl.com. There you go. /Ben's Keynote. You can go there. I'll give you a minute. I'll have a little bit more time there. I suppose I should get the clicker. Thank you very much. tinyurl.com. You can see it better in the back if you look back there. /Ben's Keynote.
Yeah.
All right. Give everybody just a second longer. If you need to, you can snap a photo. All right. Guys ready? I'll take that as a yes. So just a little bit about me. I know some of you I know, of course, from social media, but my name is Ben Cogswell. I am a kindergarten teacher. I'm also a recovering TOSA. So I started as a 6th grade teacher for 7 years, and then I was TOSA for 4 years, and then I missed the students, and I had a lot of gaps with my 6th graders. As you'll kind of hear about later, and so I went back to the classroom as a kindergarten teacher. So on the right side, we have the Kinder Rockets, which you can see my shirt right now. On the left side, you can also see I have my own, almost basketball team at home. So those are my own wonderful kids who I enjoy very much. So real quick, one of the things as a kindergarten teacher, I want to show like my kids the power of things like social media. Right? And this message I share with them, like, I am kind, I am safe, I'm always doing my best. So this is going to be a second warm-up, so I don't forget. So we're going to do the Kinder Rocket Pledge, and so you have two options to participate. You can either take pictures and share, you can tag Kind Rockets, you can see it on the bottom, or you can do it with me, okay? It's primary teachers, I know you got my back on this, high school teachers, you might not do this, but that's okay. So this is the Kinder Rocket Pledge. I'll just do it real quick. We start with thumbs up. Okay? And we do, I am a Kinder Rocket. I am kind. I am safe. I do my best. I am a kind rocket. So I'm going to post this actually into their Seesaw classroom so they can come in on Monday and they can see their teacher with all you wonderful people. So I got to get that out of my way, so thank you very much. Big round of applause for you. All right, so are you guys ready for the ultimate challenge? Dun, dun, dun. Okay, this ultimate challenge is Mario vs. Bowser, so you can tell by some of my slides I'm a big game nerd. All right, so you ready? Ultimate challenge. You have to choose a side. Choose your side. All right, are you a planner person? Or are you a Google Calendar or other calendar person? Planner people, where are you at? Calendar people, where are you at? All right, about 50-50 there. Next ultimate challenge, ready? Do you prefer reading a book? Or do you prefer listening to your books? So reading, where are you at? Listeners, where are you at? Okay, ultimate challenge number 3, about 50-50 again. You prefer sticky notes? Or you like somebody like Google Keep, or you like your reminder app? So sticky note people, where are you at? Okay, Google Keep people, where are you at? All right, I got a few more for ultimate challenge. Math on paper. or practice digitally? Math on paper. Math digitally. Okay? So, what about, do you think handwriting or typing? What do you think, handwriting? Typing. Well, we're here for a technology conference, right? Right? What if I told you we're not really here because of the technology? What if I told you we're also not really here because of the pen and paper? Because it's not about this or that. A lot of times we think about, oh, it's digital, it's technology. It's not about that, right? It's not about that. It's about this, right? Our students. This is this year's Kinder Rockets. That's like the second week of school. We were working on sitting nicely on the carpet. So I took a picture and we looked at the picture and we were like, who's doing a good job? Those are my kind rockets. Right now I'm 28. So, it's also about this. So you're like looking at this and you're scratching your head. Okay, what do I see here? What does this have to do with anything? Snickers bar, I see a teepee, some lavatory, I'm not sure. It's about, I think, the experiences we create for our students. Right? And some of these are experiences that I had growing up, and I'm going to share a few. You know what it's also about? Possibilities. Because whoever would have thought technology could put a cat on a Roomba, and you could drive it around and entertain your toddler? The possibilities technology can give us is amazing. Has anybody ever seen this metaphor for like letting the light into our students' lives? Like a window, right? Maybe some of it's like, door shuts or window opens, one of those things. So as teachers, sometimes we let light into our students' lives, right? I want to look at this metaphor in a little bit different way. What if we looked at it like this? Okay? Because our students are not just these single panes of glass. As people, we're not these single panes of glass. We're complicated. We have good moments, maybe a red color. We have sad moments, maybe a black color. They all make us who we are, right? So this is what our students are, and this is how we got to let light into their lives. So at this point, you may be wondering, why do I have a crayon? Okay, if you were good and you're following instructions, if you don't have a crayon, maybe you can raise your hand. You should have a crayon and a bookmark. If you don't raise your hand, maybe one of those wonderful people will bring you one. Okay, you're going to need your crayon, you're going to need your bookmark, and if you were really good, you hadn't started coloring yet. Don't worry, you're going to have some time, you don't need it quite yet. All right, you guys ready for the adventure? Okay, what video game is this? Which one? OG, first one. Okay, so we're going to go on an adventure. We're going to talk about experiences, possibility, and this thing called ignition. Thank you very much for my helpers. Put you on the spot over there. So the first one I want to talk about is the experiences. What experiences do we create for our students? So, okay, we're going to go backwards first. It's like, Jiminy, what was it? The ghost, he went Christmas present, Christmas past, Christmas future. But we're going to take 3 different looks here. So I want to think about the teachers that left a mark in your life. Because all of us have those pieces, and we have some teachers that left some very strong impressions on us, I bet. We're going back. Here's me in first grade, nice small class size. You know which one I am?
The one with the beard.
Give me a second. Yeah, I'm there. I don't have a beard yet, that's why you can't recognize me. I'm in the green and the stripes over there on the side. Yeah, this is Miss Sharkey. Awesome teacher. But I want to talk about a few teachers that, like those pieces of glass that I really remember. The first one being my kindergarten teacher, Miss Keeney. And that's now, as a kindergarten teacher, I have a whole new appreciation for her. Right? Because I never thought, honestly, I'd have to deal with so many bodily fluids, especially last year. But what I really remember about Miss Keeney is I really think she gave me this love for reading. Right? I don't necessarily remember what books she read, but I just remember after kindergarten going to first grade and like seeing the books and being so excited to see them. Of course, thank my parents too. I really think she gave me a love for reading, but the thing I remember most is this. See that? That's Crazy Hat Day. I had the craziest hat. I had a bird's nest in my hat. You can see there's like a little eggs up there, right? There's some feathers. That's what I remember from kindergarten, right? Crazy Hat Day. Left their impression on me. Mr. Fessler, my 4th grade teacher, he was pretty awesome. So he was this like gentleman. He had a long black hair and he had a long black beard. And he was a mountain man, like literally he was a mountain man. And when I say that, like he had a teepee, he had all the old garb, right? He taught Colorado history because I grew up in Colorado. So I remember like studying the rainforest and being in his classroom and literally learning how to braid crepe paper and hanging it from the ceiling to create the canopy. And using butcher paper for tree trunks. And literally climbing all over his classroom on our desks, on ladders, totally stuff you couldn't do today. But I remember turning his classroom into a rainforest. I also remember, as he said, he was a mountain man. He got some of his mountain friends, and we, as 4th graders, got on a bus, and we went up into the mountains, and we slept in teepees, and we used flint and steel to make fire, and we threw axes. Seriously, we threw knives. We shot a muzzle loader gun with just the gunpowder and the paper, and we actually got to load it. Totally stuff you couldn't do nowadays, right? But did it leave an impression on me? Do I remember like the math that he taught me? Not really. I remember flint and steel. This one is one of my favorites, and there's a reason I kind of put the little broken edge glass. This is Mr. Harrison, and this is 8th grade. My sister had him a few years, so he taught history. And so he was like a super strict teacher, but he was super awesome. And so he had these tests, and if you got 100%, he'd give you a Snickers bar, or any candy bar you wanted. 25 question tests, right? And so like out of 6 periods, only like maybe 2 or 3 people would ever get the candy bar. So I got like 24 out of 25, 98%, like 96%, like twice. Never got that 100. There's this other time when I really loved history, and you can tell I have a lot of energy. And so I was one of those kids that had trouble raising my hand. So he's asking questions in class, and of course, what do? I blurted out the answer, and I think he got tired of it, and so what he made me do is stay after class and raise my hand for 5 minutes, like this. I was late to my science class. I had a really cool science teacher, and if you were late, he gave you like the dartboard, and you throw the dart on the dartboard, and that would be your consequence. Sometimes it'd be cleaning tables, sometimes it would be free choice, like you would get out of it. But I just remember, did I raise my hand after that? Yes. I was really good about raising my hand after that. Right, so there's these teachers that left these impressions. Those are the things that I remember. But it's not just me. Let's take a look at a few other people. Let's see if we get some audio here. If we don't, that's okay. I think I'm going to skip this for now. But anyways, you can go back if you want to watch that later. So I want to share a few things, and we're going to unveil a little bit today. Students won't always remember what you teach, but they will remember the experiences you give them. Because I think if a lot of you were to reflect on your teachers, you'd have some similar memories, right? You'd remember what they did, maybe how they did it, how they made you feel. All right, so most of us have that one teacher. Mine is actually kind of, that's like our diamond or our sapphire. Mine's actually kind of 3 teachers, but it's mostly, let's see if I can get this thing to work. Mostly this one right here, Miss Adams. She like lost one lung as a child because her dad had secondhand smoke in the car, and so she had to get a lung removed. She grew up in like Germany in this haunted house. I think there was in the military or something. Those are the things I remember about my 6th grade teacher. That tells you how important she was to me, right? And so some of the things I remember from her is I remember writing a book, and the other teachers too, wrote a book, drew the pictures, we sewed the cover, paper cover. We actually sewed the binding. We made the flaps to it. We wrote our little bio. We wrote our summary of our book, and we sent it in to a contest. What was our teacher doing before we had as much technology? She's giving us a voice, right? Sharing our work. Just like, you know, same thing, a little poem up there. One thing I remember is we were studying ancient Greeks, and they actually, the volleyball court, they roped it off, they put little quadrants in there, and they dug up like holes, and they threw a bunch of like artifacts in there, like phones, broken pots. And one day at school, we had a partner, we literally dug up the stuff as archaeologists. Pretty amazing, right? That's what I remember. So whenever I think about those teachers, what do they help me do? I want to be that teacher, right? I want to be that teacher and leave those marks. I think that's a lot of us. We want to be that teacher. So you guys ready for your crayon? All right. I want you to think about who is that teacher? So there's a few instructions here. Who is that teacher that left the biggest mark on you? So what you're going to do, first you're going to color a little spot on your bookmark to represent that teacher, give you some time to reflect. Then, I'm going to find a neighbor, and we're going to share with our neighbor who that teacher was, and the last step, we're going to switch crayons. So we're going to think, right? Think about the teacher, we're going to color, and we're going to, what's my third step? Switch crayons. Okay? I'm going to give you about 2 minutes to do that. About 2 minutes to do that. Okay. If you need one, just grab one up here. If you didn't get one. Sorry about that. Yeah, those sneaky backdoor people. I like you got some artists. Yeah, you can do whatever you want, right? Some teachers are good listeners, some teachers aren't. That's okay, right? I'm a bad listener too sometimes. Just ask my wife. Remember, once you're done, take a second and share it with somebody around you. I like how you drew your own bookmark in your book. That's good. All right, bring it back together in a second. Hope now I can get to my next, there we go. All right. I hate to interrupt, I know we could probably talk a little bit more. I heard a lot of words like relationship, smiling, loving, caring. I heard a lot of those words. Right? So it's about those experiences that those teachers gave you. Now, we're going to think about not just the experiences that our teachers give us, but the possibilities that were allowed because of our education. So again, thinking about the experiences that they give us and the possibilities. So we're going to go back again, but we're not going to look at Ben as a student. We're going to look at Ben as a teacher. So this is my first year teaching. And there's one student that's not in this picture. Her name is Marina. And she was definitely my hardest student, probably of all time. Definitely challenging. I had to go to her house to do her parent-teacher conference. Luckily, she was one of my two parents that spoke English in that class. The mom had like 6 kids. The older brother was already getting involved in gangs, 8th grader. So Marina, who's not in this picture. This is just a little bit about the students that I worked with at that time. According to Wikipedia, the area I worked in was the 6th most densely populated in the United States. 6th most densely populated. My first year I started with one of these. And in that same year I had an overhead projector. So those of us that had one of these, you remember the transparencies. If you didn't have the right one, it would melt in the copy machine. You're like, oh! So, thinking about Marina, it was about maybe 4 years ago. I'm at a park, and you saw my 4 kids, right? And so some guy comes up to me, he's like, hey, my first thought is, like, which one of my kids did what? Because I have 3 boys, they're crazy, you know, what do you do? They're boys. Do our best. Anyways, he's like, see over here, that girl? She was in your class, and she's too shy to come up to you. You know who it was? Marina. She had her 3-year-old there. She's like, I'm going back to school right now. I'm trying to get my nurse's degree. But you know what? It's really hard for me. The computers. Because back then, those kids didn't have access. We had a computer lab, 30 minutes. That's it. A week. That's what was hard for her. Right? But again, it's not just about the technology, right? It's about the possibilities it creates. She didn't have the same possibilities, right? So I want to take a trip back real quick and think about how technology has helped us. If we look at information, that's how we started to pass information, besides oral storytelling, right? And then I went to this, the Great Library of Alexandria, and what happened to that library? Anybody know? Burned to the ground. Lost all the information. And then we're stepping it up. Anybody remember one of these? Card catalog. Having to look through the card catalog to find it in the library. Now, we have this. 93 million results. What is learning? Our learning is open to us 24 hours. We're able to customize it in any way we want. You want to learn how to draw sharp? There's a video for that. What about sewing a button? Video for that. How to take over the world. I can't promise you that'll work, but there's a video for that. And what does this give us? Possibilities. A few examples of possibilities. Some of this you may have seen. Never seconds. This little girl in Scotland started a blog. It was like, my lunches are not very good. She took a picture. She rated her food. This one had 2 hairs in it. It's a 4.5 out of 9. Started this blog. Like over 10 million hits in the first few months. Other kids from other countries started sending her pictures of their food. Jamie Oliver, celebrity chef, he featured her on TV, and she was able to make change, and so they were able to get seconds of bread and fruit for their school. Why? Because of technology. This guy, Amos Dudley, 3D printed braces in 2016, 24-year-old. He 3D printed his own braces for $60. At the time, this would have been $8,000. He did it himself. Why? Information. Thomas Suarez, 12-year-old app developer, Whack-A-Mole and the Justin Bieber app. He did a TED Talk and he's now helping other kids his age become app developers. As like a 12-year-old. Why? Technology allows him to do that. Anybody know Evan HD? He reviews Legos, right? He is a millionaire at 8 years old because of his YouTube channel. So what does technology allow us to do? Possibilities, right? But of course it's not all sunshine and rainbows and puppies and unicorns. It's scary. It can be scary, right? With great power comes great responsibility. So how are you going to use your powers? I tell my kids, Which one are you going to be with your technology superpower? Are you going to be Joker or Batman? Because I grew up in a time when I had AOL and I was like AOL 1.0 and I was probably in chat rooms that I shouldn't have been in. But nobody at that point was, that was the Wild West. Nobody at that point had taught us those things, and we would make mistakes online, they didn't have these ripple effects. So we kind of learned that how are we teaching our students? Batman, Joker. Our kids are growing up on a digital playground and no one is on recess duty. That's Kevin Honeycutt. Are we going to get on that digital playground with our students? We have to. Sure, some of you have seen this, right? We're preparing students for jobs that don't even exist. Are your students ready? Probably most of you in here, I would say the answer is yes. But let that thought drive you, just like it always drives me with Marina. All right? And so I feel like this is a little bit like when I think about Marina, being a teacher sometimes is like being blindfolded. You do your best that you can, and you hope for the best, right? You never know how students or your own kids are going to turn out. That's all you can do. But which mark are you going to make? So they won't remember the experiences you give them. They will remember the experiences you give them and the possibilities you create. So same thing. Think about this time instead of your teacher. What's a student that left a mark in your heart? You're going to switch crayons again, so you should have your second color now, right? Okay, and I'm going to give you about 2 minutes. Go. Again, take that time to share about that student. What do you remember about them? What mark did they leave on your heart? All right, think about starting to kind of wrap up your convo. Again, I always feel bad interrupting. All right, our next phase in our adventure, again, I apologize. I want to make sure to get these, everybody enough time to get to their first session here. So we have experiences. As teachers, we create experiences. We also create possibilities, and now I'm going to talk about a little bit about this thing, ignition. All right, we're kid rockets, so we're always trying to shoot off to space. Okay, do our best. Get ready for the future. All right, that's what we want to do, get our students ready for the future. But as teachers, what do we need to do? We need to also take off, right? We got to shoot off to the sky. James Bond, right? Okay, but it's not that simple, is it? Like, there's a lot of information out there on educational technology. What do we learn about it? How do we keep up with it? Well, you're here, so that's good. Good job, pat on the back. But sometimes doesn't it feel like this? Trying to keep up with all those apps, updates on your phone, new update, new update, new update, new update. Where's that button? Right? It's hard. Sometimes it's what Sometimes I feel scared. Oh my goodness. But remember, like the X-Files, you are not alone. You have your neighbor next to you, hopefully in your school side. There's a few of my neighbors. That's my school, by the way, now, Barton Elementary. We really need to think about working together, whether it's with our neighbors, right? Because I don't know if anybody's seen John Haney's work, but basically it's saying, I know some of us have seen it a million times in the last year or two. Working together is the best thing. That's what he says, pretty much. What about this quote? Have you heard this one before? The smartest person in the room is the room. So what if we just blew up our room? Not just the people here, right? Not just the people at our school. We're going to make some new neighbors. Doesn't matter which neighbors you make. They're all mostly friendly. Just avoid the trolls. They're there. But we can be kind. So most of you, again, I'm probably preaching to the choir, but a few things I think are pretty impactful. Out of 500 million tweets, 4.2 million are related to education. This is like from 2015. 2010, 34 Twitter chats. 2015, 349 Twitter chats. How many Twitter chats do you have now? I bet you it's more than that. So again, pick your poison. Doesn't matter which one you're at. But if you're not connected, you should be. And some of you are. What's your goal? Get that neighbor next to you, get them connected, because the smartest person in the room is the room. But remember, you also got some local support. Let's just give a quick finger snaps here for our SGBQ board. Thank you guys for doing this. Find your tribe. Find your people. Whether it's in the room, at your table, across from you, or whether it's thousands of miles away. Right? Because students won't always remember the experiences you give them. Yes, students will always remember what you teach. Got to add that word in there, what you teach. But the experiences you give them, the possibilities you create, and the passion you ignite within them will stick with them always. So, I want you to think about somebody. We got another cramp. We have 2 more spots, right? Think about somebody at this conference or in your larger social media network that's made an impact on you. And we are getting close to our closing here. I'm going to cut your time a little short, but I'm going to give you about 1 minute here to think about somebody either here or in your digital world that's made an impact on you. I can tell you some of you in this room have definitely made an impact on me, so thank you for that. All right. So far it's been a teacher, a student, and a colleague. Teacher, student, and colleague. Any guesses who is that last piece for? Anybody, any guesses? Us? Any other guesses? Thank you. No, so like in the classroom, right, if somebody shares, we just stop with one answer, right? So we say thank you, we get somebody else to share as well, thank you, get somebody else to share, thank you. So thank you guys for sharing. Any other guesses? Who's the last piece for? Yeah, you guys got it. You're so pat on the back. It's for you, right? I say because we need to remember that this is hard work. Kudos to you, Saturday teachers, for being here. Because it is not easy, right? I don't think it's easy for any of us. Being a teacher is hard. Being an admin is hard. It is not easy work to do, but it is important, right? It's important. You are a masterpiece. We forget that sometimes because it is easy to have like that lesson didn't go well, right? It's easy to get in that. You know what? I don't know if I'm doing enough. I don't know if my kids are where they should be. This kid has this problem. How am I going to help? But remember, be patient with yourself. You are a masterpiece. Sometimes we look at those dark pieces, but hopefully those light pieces come to it. So just take a minute or two. Just take about 30 seconds. Color that last piece. If you want to switch crayons one more time so you get 4 different colors, but go ahead and color that last piece. And we're going to wrap it up here. Feel free to take a picture of your bookmark and share it too. Tag a teacher, a colleague, somebody else that you appreciate. All right. So who remembers the 3 things? This is your quiz. Get out your phone. We're going to do a multiple choice test. Just kidding. Right? So we have, what's the first one? So we create what for our students? And we give them, and as teachers and as our students, we try to help them take off, right? Felt like ignition was a more academic word. Got to get those tier 2 words in there, right? So we're ready for our adventure. Because as I said, right? It's about the experiences. I could like look at this forever. The possibilities. And taking off. Because who do we do it for? Our kids. And our kids are just like that. Right now we see them maybe as all those little pieces of glass. What do they turn into? What do we turn into? When we put all those little pieces of glass together, what happens? You guys know what the next slide is, right? Which mark will you make? So come here and remember. Enjoy your sessions, learn a lot, connect with colleagues. Okay? Because today you're going to get your mind blown. If you have any feedback to give me, please. And thank you very much for your time. Enjoy your sessions.
Now, as you go into your sessions, I know that